Good morning and welcome back to Beeflink TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today I'm joined by Robert Windsor to discuss the relationship between the UK and the EU. So Robert, thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure.
Today we focus this episode on the potential reset of that relationship.
Yes.
Can you just kind of go into detail on what that exactly means?
Right. The Labour government has stated that it wishes to reset the UK's relationship with the EU post the EU exit, which obviously came about under the previous Conservative administration. And they are talking to trade about methods where the trading relationship between ourselves and the EU can be, quote, reset, which actually is code for improved.
And how has BIFA been a part of that process?
Well, BIFA engages with government, and I'm talking about at the civil service level.
Yeah.
And basically we've been in discussion via policy groups and also directly on a bilateral basis with HMRC, with DEFRA, which looks after the SPS goods, and the Department for Business and Trade. Those are the three main areas. We have had some engagement with Border Force, but that's slightly more tricky because obviously we're dealing with safety and security.
And when we talk about the reset of that relationship, what parts are we looking to focus on?
I think the main things that come across is members seem to have got the hang of the fiscal customs declaration, but there are still considerable difficulties regarding the controls on SPS goods, that's foodstuffs, products of animal origin, that sort of stuff. And also the still to be introduced Safety and Security Declaration, which is referred to as S&SGB. So those are two of the main areas. Also, Northern Ireland is very problematical. I think everybody knows that the present regime makes it very difficult for traders in Northern Ireland because they're part in the EU, part in the UK, and it's just tricky. So in effect, those will be the main areas. We have been asked in particular by the Department for Business and Trade to ask members, do they have any particular problems exporting goods to the European Union? Our members may not believe this, but actually our government officials are quite facilitative. They're quite liberal and relaxed. The European Union is much more precise, and we've had problems with animal health certificates and things. It's in the wrong colour ink, so it gets rejected. It's that sort of bureaucracy. Department of Business and Trade are looking for evidence from trade, and that could be in particular the exporter from the UK or the export freight forwarder, oblique customs agent, or even the haulier, about how they are having problems getting goods through the frontier. Obviously, it's slower, it's more bureaucratic and more costly than it was our leaving the EU, but what we're trying to do is minimise the controls, the checks and the processes to speed up the flow of goods and to make things less expensive for the UK exporters.
And if members want to be a part of this process, how can they get involved?
Well, there's a variety of ways. First of all, I would suggest that you attend local regional meetings to express your views to the regional consultant and ask them to make sure that they come back to the Secretariat. The other thing would be to contact myself, Robert Windsor, directly, and all my colleagues, Pavel and Igor. All our details are on the Contact Us part of the website. And, we will take on board anything that we hear and we will forward those responses up to government. So that's one thing for members to be concerned, just to bear in mind. When you put in writing what you want, this information will be forwarded, including their contact details, to government.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you, my pleasure.
The links to our events page so you can register for your regional meetings, and also the Contact Us page so you can get in touch with Robert himself or the colleagues in Policy and Compliance, they will be in the description below. This has been today's edition of Beeflink TV, your daily dose of industry information.